Morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It's another beautiful day in sunny Southern California. And today we're going to talk a little bit about my 2015 Harley-Davidson Street Glide. The video I'm posting today is about a road trip I took through Death Valley. So I rode about 750 miles, 12 hours in one day, from Murrieta, California to Baker, California, up to Death Valley Junction, across Death Valley, and down Trona Road behind Ridgecrest, and all the way back home in one day. Yeah, it was a long ride. I miss riding. I know about a 2020 Challenger Scat Pack, and I've been kind of all about that. And unfortunately, I'm listing a Harley for sale unless you guys in the comments say don't sell it and keep it. I'll keep it. We can afford it. I don't ride it anymore. I don't commute on it anymore to work. Just a pain in the ass to ride in Southern California during the week, during the day, back and forth to work and stuff. And on the weekends, it's all about kids and family and things to do. So haven't really been riding her. So I'm gonna set you up on the tripod and let's get that cold start. Pulled up Apple Maps and showing you the route. So this was at the start of the COVID pandemic. There wasn't really anything open. There was some gas stations open, but not everything was open. Definitely no food. So I packed up, layered riding gear, no chaps, nothing like that. Half helmet, glasses, the normal riding attire for me. And but just some layers because it was chilly. I knew it was going to get about 100 degrees in Death Valley, so I definitely layered up with some t-shirts, some undershirts, flannel, those kind of things, extra pairs of socks, the usual tools and food and, water and drinks and stuff. So I rode through and, a perfect example of why you pack a little extra or a little overboard is because when I was driving through Cajon Pass there on the 15 north, I encountered some butterflies. It was like butterfly time, so they're all hatching and stuff. So I got murdered out with a bunch of bugs and stuff. So I stopped at Victorville HD. And so they were really gracious. I had to have my mask in, cleaned the bike up, that kind of thing, hung out there for a little bit. And then I went to Baker, and I'm going to zoom in on Baker. So give me just a sec. And the significance of Baker is, number one, there's the world's largest thermometer there, and I wanted to get some photos of it. And I thought that'd be a cool stop. And then going up US 127 north, it's a scenic route. So I gassed up in Baker. I knew there wasn't going to be many options the whole way through Death Valley to stop and get gas, if any at all. And I was getting about 250, 300 miles to the tank of gas, just not ripping around, keeping around, on cruise control at the speed limit. So I was doing very good on gas mileage. I was really surprised. So I stopped there, and there was this cool jet car there all posted up and displayed. The guy actually had visited my hometown, South Bend, Indiana, been on the drag strip there. Knew some people that I knew there that worked on those kind of vehicles and stuff that I grew up with. So it was really cool. I talked to that guy for about an hour, got a bunch of pictures. Once again, got some, beef jerky and some vitamin waters and stuff like that, and then headed north. And I'm going to zoom back out because this, I want to show you all the way up to Shoshone. This route is desolate, especially, beginning of the COVID pandemic. I seen a couple cars and a couple police officers, and that was it. So, and no cell service. So, like, if you get stuck out here, I don't recommend doing it alone. I did it alone. I'm a lone rider. I like riding alone. But it is sketchy out here, especially with the few amount of cars and vehicles that are on the road. So, you know, you definitely want to overpack, definitely have a ton of food. But then, you know, there was some cool stuff out here. I took a couple pictures, and then I stopped in Shoshone. And I didn't really plan on stopping in Shoshone. However, there's some super cool stuff there. There's kitschy cool junk and cars and equipment in the buildings, and you could go into, it's a fully operating sheriff's department from like the 1800s building. There is a gas station there, so if you needed to get gas, although I think it was about $5 a gallon. Well, it was pretty expensive. So, but I stopped and I chatted to a few Harley riders that were stopped there, a few motorcycle riders that were stopped there. A couple locals there kind of showed me around a little bit and talked about the interesting part of it being a mining town and stuff. So super cool. And then I took off after about an hour or so, and I rode on to my halfway point, which was Death Valley Junction. And this place has a really cool opera here, opera house that's been around since the 1800s, and I always wanted to go there. And it's in a bunch of haunted shows, you know, and those ghost adventure shows and things like that. So I want to go in the opera house and stuff. There was only one person there. It was just kind of like a person just chilling there. They didn't want anybody going in because of the pandemic, and I understood that. So I kind of stayed on one side, plopped on a chair, took off riding gear, kind of just chilled, got a little sun with my shoes off, and just chilling, and ate lunch there. Bulked up on a bunch of fluids because it was already in the 90s, and it was going to get close to 100 in Death Valley. And so this was my halfway point. Self-quarantining today all the way to Death Valley. Let's go. First stop, Victorville, Harley-Davidson. It was one hell of a ride through Riverside and San Bernardino, but I made it. Quick stop in Baker for a little gas and some lunch on my way to Death Valley Junction. World's tallest thermometer there says it's 84 degrees. I'm ready to get this show on the road and get out to the rest of the desert. Junction to Pyramid Springs, and this is a pretty long trek. I think I had about 60 miles left to the tank of gas when I got to Pyramid Springs. So there is a gas station right around Salt Creek somewhere about halfway through this ride, but like I said, it was the COVID pandemic. There wasn't anything open. The entire national park was closed. I was basically just kind of pulling off and taking some photos and just like keeping on going. I did see, you know, a sheriff or two out there, maybe some DNR driving around, but nobody was out there. It was almost 100 degrees. So as you see in the next set of, you know, pictures and some videos, like there was no one else on the road, not in front of me, not behind me, not anything. So this is a pretty desolate road, and it is a lot, you know, a huge change in elevation. I go down all the way to about 800 and so feet under, you know, below sea level, and then heading all the way up to like 5,000 feet into a mountain, and then showing up in Pyramid Springs. So yeah, this was a really fun thing. I would recommend, if you was to do this trip and we don't have any COVID restrictions or anything, it's just a normal day, that this would be a full day trip for you, and then overnight in Pyramid Springs. They have some cabins, tent camping if you're into that kind of thing. You know, they got some little accommodations that you could stay at the general store, and the people there were super nice. Like I stayed there for 30, 45 minutes just chatting and kind of hanging out and taking in the beautiful scenery there. And then, you know, filled up the gas tank, and then proceeded on my way. Last but not least, but the ride home. And once I left Paramount Springs, I really want to draw attention to this part of the road. It was super cool. So what I did was I left and then went down Paramount Springs Road, which turns into Trona Road. And there is a ton of cool stuff up in the mountains up here, like some old mines, and there's lots of, you know, there's several historical markers to stop at. There's Searless Lake and Borax Flats. This is where they do a lot of the minings for salt and borax. Yeah, that's super cool place. So I split off the 178 and went to the east of Ridgecrest and came out around Randsburg, Johannesburg. There's a dirt bike that was keeping pace with me. I was doing 60, 65. He was like flying down the dirt roads next to me. We were waving at each other and stuff. It's super cool. Just super cool. Lots of cool stuff to see. Really scenic route. road's a little rough. Be prepared for that, because this is where all the earthquakes happened earlier in the year, and they did some good job patching a lot of it up. That was all broken up and stuff, but yeah, it's still pretty rough for the parts that weren't. And the types of material they used are changed. So some of it's really rocky. So definitely, be cautious. Don't override the road, because you'll find yourself out in the sticks. And there's nobody out here, right? It's pretty desolate as well until you get on the 395. And then 395, back down to the 15, back down to 215, back down to home base. So I mean, it was a great ride. I would do it again. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments. If you're going to do this ride, or if I inspired you to do this ride from wherever your home base is, hit me up in the comments. Hit me up on Instagram. Like the video if it's a motivation for you, or if it's something that you're adding to your bucket list. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. Definitely comment below if you want me to keep the motorcycle and continue to do content with the Harley. I love the Harley. I don't want to ride by myself, and I don't want to commute on it anymore. So, if you want to ride, you want to link up, whatever, hit me up in the comments, hit me up on social media. I am the Corner King on social media, and hope you have a great Father's Day. Have a nice day.